today's Friday, and primary day is Tuesday. And that means by Tuesday night, Republicans in Maryland, I know you're out there, you're going to have a candidate for governor. And joining us now is a man who'd like to be that candidate, Charles Lollar, businessman, Marylander, Marine Corps officer, and a pretty good guy. Charles Lollar, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian, Larry.
Well, so I've heard you speak eloquently about your following and the people who are your passionate supporters. And despite what some of the polls say, and right now they're showing you, tied for second right now behind Larry Hogan in the polls with 12%. Hogan has 27%. There's a whole lot of undecideds there, and I know you believe that your voters, your supporters, are incredibly dedicated and passionate. Is that going to make the difference for you Tuesday?
I am honored to have them. I'm just humbled. I mean, they work hard. You're going to see one of the largest sign-waving displays across this state and every county in the state on Tuesday morning and Tuesday evening. And yes, they're going to make a difference. And in terms of those internal polls, there have been 6 internal Republican straw polls, of which we've won 5 of them, to include a state convention or a statewide poll. I think that Maryland is about to see one of the brat formulas that happened with over Virginia happened right here in the great state of Maryland, and they're going to elect this Marine to turn some things around in Annapolis, and we're not going to let these numbers down. We're excited.
All right, so look, it's the basic question you ask a guy who wants to be governor. What makes you the right guy? Several
things. It boils down to leadership, though. Maryland is in a difficult state at best. And those are easy words. We're going down the wrong road economically. And we need the executive, the governor of Maryland, to have strong business background and experience. And of every person in the race, Republican or Democrat, I've managed more private employees and managed more systems than all of them. Then there's the Marine Corps officer leadership that I bring to the table. That's no nonsense. It's nonpartisan. I'm not interested in being the best Republican governor I can be or the best Democratic governor I can be. I want to be the best governor for Maryland I can be, and it's refreshing for all Marylanders, regardless of party affiliation. And then there's the mere fact that here in our state, in comparison to regionally other states in this region, we have more DOD contractors, National Guard, reserves, and military retirees in our state. And it's going to be refreshing for them to know that they're going to have, as a governor, someone who's been deployed before, a Marine Corps infantry officer, the only military experience that's been deployed overseas. These are the things that our state needs to get us turned around economically and driven down the right road again.
Charles Lollar, unlike the progressives and the Democrats, we conservatives, we actually take Dr. King's statements to heart. We judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And because of that, I know you don't like to focus on your race, but the fact is the Democrats will. And they're making the case for Anthony Brown in many ways. They're saying, well, it's time for a black governor of Maryland. I'm sure you agree, but you would like to be that man. Tell me about how being an African-American conservative might give you an edge in a face-off with Anthony Brown, and also the kind of outreach you've been doing to the black community.
That's a tough question to answer because you're right. I don't like color politics. I don't like race politics. They don't work. And it's not good for us as a state.
Yeah, but you know what? It's going to be part of the campaign if Anthony Brown gets the nomination.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of the outreach we've been doing, specifically in Prince George's County and Baltimore City and Montgomery County, you know this, we're the only candidate that have Democrats for Lollar organizations already set up in those areas. We want to show, and we want to give all Marylanders a choice. And, I mean, in Maryland, Democrats out-register number-wise Republicans 2-1. So they're going to have a very clear choice. That way it almost takes that race issue out completely. Then they can look at 2 men and say, okay, you know what? Which one has the best experience and is best poised to lead Maryland down the right road? We don't need 4 more years of the same thing. We need something different and something refreshing. I believe that 50.1 plus percentage of Marylanders are going to poll for Charles Lollar for governor in November.
All right, so let's say you get the nomination, and now you're facing the lieutenant governor, as that's the way it seems to be shaping up. How do you convince the Democrats, who are
only one way to?
How's that?
You got to show them the 84 new aggressive taxes, regulations, and fees that have been imposed upon them over the past 8 years. You have to show them what your plan is, that we have the only economic plan currently that's been endorsed by a national economic advisor that turned around our economy in the worst of times in Dr. Art Laffer and the Reagan administration in 1980.
Okay.
We have that here in the state of Maryland. You've got to show them your plan to allow parents and teachers, this is pivotal, to parents and students to have school choice and their tax dollars follow the decision they make. This will help those citizens in struggling communities like in Baltimore City and Prince George's County. So you know what, that's refreshing. Now I can my child get the best of education opportunities and not just the wealthiest of Marylanders. If we show Maryland our plan and we show Democrats how we want to find nonpartisan solutions and how we don't need 4 more years, and then most importantly, we have to show them that we care. And I've been working, our team been working so hard to show Democrats, yes, we do care, and here is a much better way of getting things done.
Okay.
I remember having a conversation with a in the unemployment that was exciting for me to show them that whether you make $50 an hour or $5 an hour, if the state government takes 45 of it away, that pay increase did you no good. We have to change quality of life.
I get that, and I hear that, and I think it's a great message. I'm just wondering, anecdotally, when you talk to people, and let's say some of them are Democrats, are you detecting something different? Because I don't know, it's a heavy lift for Republicans in the state of Maryland, but when you talk to people, you hear it's different this time around. Do you feel that?
I do. I'll give you an example. In Prince George's County, we had an organization made up of 300 black churches and businessmen that endorsed us for governor.
Wow. First
First time they've ever endorsed a Republican governor in their history. We just left a UC gala for young Hispanics in Montgomery County, and a Hispanic coalition that's gotten behind us, and they put us on Telemundo television. We taped for it yesterday, which will air on Monday. I'm seeing a difference, especially in how people are coming to us and saying, listen, Mr. Lollar, we want to know more about your plan. We want to get behind you, and we want to support you for governor. And these are Democrats.
I do love the idea of Charles Lollar going to Prince George's County and the inner city of Baltimore and saying, Anthony Brown wants to keep your kids in the ghetto that is the public school system, and I want you to have the choice to go to a private school, and I'll make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Charles Lollar, before we're done, we're almost out of time. Anthony Brown, after all of these years sitting by O'Malley as he raised tax after tax after tax, suddenly Brown now says, I think taxes are high enough as it is for now. You've got a different plan for income taxes in Maryland. Why don't you tell us about it real fast?
Yes, he's still in the pressure. I've been in forum after forum with him, and I hate to say this, but yes, I've been one of the only Republican candidates that showed up to those Democratic forums, and I did it purposely. And he's feeling not just the pressure, but he's finally seen what my message has been and what we as conservatives have been, and he understands that he's listening to now the people of Maryland that are saying, listen, Anthony, we are taxed to death. There's no way we can go any further. You'll love this. I was at an Irish pub in Baltimore City just this past Thursday, or Wednesday, when one African-American lady said, I just cannot stand these taxes. I'm a Democrat. I work here in Baltimore City, and I'm going to get behind you, Mr. Lollar. I think those are the types of voices that Mr. Brown is hearing, which is why he's changed his tune. I think he's preparing for a final countdown with me, and he wants to beat me in November, which he's not going to be able to do.
We're out of time, Charles Lollar, but I just want to be clear here. Your plan is to eliminate the income tax in Maryland, yes?
Yes, over a 5-year period. And again, it's been endorsed by Dr. Art Laffer.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
We got to go. Thanks.